Absolutely. There's a conversation that happens with you and Malice in Miami. Do you think he sensed that something bad was gonna happen soon?
The honest truth. The honest truth. I used to kick that around in my head a lot, right? Even when I was in prison, right? I think it was a thing of that he felt something more than he knew something,
right?
You know, and I say that to say because because I actually had somebody ask me that. Do I think that they knew that it was going to happen? Right. I really had somebody ask me that, and the reason why I would say no is because when he came to me and started talking about God, it was a thing of I just think God was talking through him.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why I say I really think he felt something. God was just talking through him and was just trying to let me know that you need to prepare for this. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but, because he was hearing the little rumors on certain stuff and that was going on, and he also saw how I was keeping my distance from them even a little bit, because I had just bought I had the crib out there, I had I had the Bentley out there, I'm partying more. I won't think about no music. You know what I mean? That was, but until all that stuff went on, then I was like, man, you know what? I need to hurry up and get back into this music thing for I don't make it out. And it hit me before I could.
So let me ask you, so when you said you knew you was done for a little bit earlier, you said you knew you was done for. How does that make like you like behave? Were you super paranoid at that time, or was you just trying to find like a
man,
escape
you got to
route?
ball out. Man, ain't no escaping it. There's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. So I mean, I ain't really know how the feds like work all the way 100%. But I used to hear little stuff on like other guys and, but the whole main thing that I always knew, I always knew this from when I was coming up in the drug game. And I used to hear about guys getting picked up from the feds. When they let you see them, it's over.
Dang. Yeah.
When they let you see them, because the feds are good at what they do, you're not going to see them. When they're investigating and doing all that, you ain't going to see them.
Right.
Now when bodies start popping up and you start seeing people following you and this and that, you're like, man, I'm telling you, man, somebody was following me. They let you see them follow you.
Right, yeah.
Because now they're saying, I don't care. We already got what we got.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I started seeing all that and the homicide detective is going to question us and do all of this, I was like, man, I already know it was over. So it's a matter of time. So I said, before I go in, I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of like you hoping that you can escape still. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
But at the same time, you got the mind frame of, man, I'm gonna ball until I fall. That's where that saying come from. Ball until you fall. That's the whole meaning of that. I'm gonna ball until I fall. I was living my best life, man, trying to anyway.
So you saw them on many occasions. You saw them on many occasions follow you around.
Yeah. I was seeing them follow me. I even had a situation that because my aunt had worked at A&G.
Right.
She they actually came to A&G. Right. But like I said, but by this time it was, like I said, it was a little late. But they came to A&G asking about some of the cars that I purchased.
Right.
But not knowing that my aunt worked inside the office. So she's actually hearing all this.
Right.
She's like, wow, you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So just so happened when she ended up coming to me and actually telling me, hey, this was going on. I don't know what it is, but they're doing some kind of investigation or whatever. And then I bet they end up even knowing, damn, that they messed up.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a mistake. It was a mistake on their part. But even though they probably already had enough of what they had, but it was still a mistake on their part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not doing their due diligence enough for that. Or probably the thing of they probably didn't care.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So it's so crazy because like when we I don't know when we was in college. We in college or something, because I remember seeing the headlines, and the headlines was like, yo, it's like a million something dollar ring from going all the way to South America. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, yo, man, I'm trying to like, I was like, cause I know, like, cause we grew up like our uncles and everybody was doing all type of stuff. You know what I mean? So our whole family was doing it. You know what I mean? But then when I saw like all the way to South America, I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? I'm like, cause I'm thinking to myself, maybe they trying to, you know, sometimes they put stuff to make it seem crazy, but you know what I mean? But I'm like, yeah. But I'm just thinking like, cause it like the cuz have it like that.
But that's the thing. So the feds do Trump stuff up, right?
Right.
But this is the thing when it comes to the feds. They play the game of you know, because a lot of times people say the feds tear down families, you know, the feds do this to you, the feds do that to you. Not knowing that the decision that you make, you know, that do it to you. But you gotta understand this. You gotta understand this. If I just like me going in there and telling them, man, I ain't do all that, but you did something. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
You did sell drugs. So I can't go in there and say, hey man,
absolutely.
I sold drugs, but I ain't sold that much drugs. I only sold a little bit of drugs.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it don't go like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So but the whole thing is with that, because I read in two different articles, it was a $10 million drug ring, then I heard it was a $20 million drug ring. But what they do is they add up what people say. So you might got, you know, I'm just gonna go real slow, real quick. Like you can have somebody say, I got 2 ounces from him. This person say I got 5 from him. The other person say I got 2. Another person say they got 1. Together that equals 10. Right. So now you got 10 people, but then they're gonna say, yeah, well, how often did you get it from them? Man, I got it from them every day.
Right.
For a year. 365 days. So they're gonna add all that up, you know what I'm saying? And so now they're grouping it all up to get that number.
Exactly.
Right? So now when it came to me, the reason why it was so much at a big magnitude is because one of the guys had told that I was getting 30 keys a month for 2 years.
Right.
So they added that up. And then with the other connect coming and telling on me, and he was saying what he got, that's when they added up but they don't add it up for how much I was even paying for it. So if I'm paying 16 a key, 17 a key for it, they're like, nah, how much you gonna make from it if it's broken all down?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when they go street value. You know what I mean? So that's how they get the 10 million and the 20 million from that right there.
Oh, okay.
So they go definitely make it, you know, bigger than what it seemed, but at the same time, if you really did do the math on it and broke it down, that's really the math in it.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so when the feds ask you to cooperate in return for immunity for the women in your family, your mom, aunt, sister, and her wife, how did you weigh your options on whether to cooperate or not?
Honest truth, I didn't even have to weigh my options. Right? The only thing that was on my mind was like you know, like I said, you know, like I put in the book of what they wanted.
Right.
That was the only thing that was running across my mind, and that was because of, you know, all my friends. You know, it wasn't all of them, but the majority of the people who actually was involved was my family members. You know what I mean? Was like 4 of the people was like cousins and like real close, you know, and so the other two was too.
Right.
But it was a thing of who they wanted me to cooperate on. That was the whole thing. Like if I had to go cooperate on, like I can name like 10 more people that was close to me who didn't get picked up.
Right.
Right. So now my mind is like, are they gonna come and ask me about them? Because now that would change the whole dynamic of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I would have to figure out a whole nother strategy, or I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just glad I wasn't hit with that. You know what I'm saying? To even have to even decide that. So I can't say what I would have did or what I wouldn't have did. You know what I mean? Right. I know I didn't want that. You know what I mean? So when they came with what they wanted, it was a no-brainer for me.
Right. Yeah.
It was a no-brainer for me. But I just wanted also to make sure that they were safe. Not only go to prison, but even if they didn't come to prison, that they were safe on the street.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you ever think about Cookie during that time? Because I know in the book you talk about how he stood tall, but the other guys was back out on the streets. You know what I'm saying, before he got out, and that was the same kind of thing they kind of told you. If you don't cooperate, these other guys are gonna be back on the street before you are. You know what I'm saying? So did he ever cross your mind during that time as well?
Now, I didn't say this in the book, but that's gonna be coming up in my second book. But I'm gonna tell this,
right?
Because my second book is about the whole prison time, right? To just show my mind frame when I was in there, and this is stuff that I went through in there. But Cookie had reached out to all of us, which is his nephew, which was 3 of us. And he reached out, and he couldn't. Now you can imagine, he stood tall, and his whole thing of even standing tall, he didn't like the simple fact of that these guys who had more than him told on him.
Right.
So he got the word to us. Listen, y'all need to do what y'all need to do. That was his words coming because he knew the situation. And there's a lot of people in prison who wish they had.
Absolutely.
They wish they had that. So you got a lot of them who didn't have the opportunity and wasn't presented with it, or just didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So they can't tell. So they're gonna be more angry to, oh man, he's a rat. Oh man, he's this,
right.
He's that. You know what I mean? Because they had a chance to actually get out. But if you went to them and said, yo, I'm gonna give you a way out, man, this, do this and that. You think they ain't gonna want to come home? They coming home. They coming home.
Right.
They're coming home.
Right.
You know, but it's a true saying that they say in the Fed, you know, and a lot of people don't agree with it, but a lot of people do because they know it's a true statement. It's always the saying to say, what's that saying?
There's 3 types of people.
There's 3 types of people. Those that told,
those that waiting
to tell, and those that wish they told. That's just what it is.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, but you know, I'm still I'm still on that side of the fence of if you do your crime, you're supposed to do your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I still got to put the butt in there. I just say it's the circumstances of when you gonna throw my family in it, right?
Yep.
I mean, like you said, you got to weigh your options on exactly what it is. Like I always say a small lie, you know, and a big lie is still a lie.
Yep.
But it's still like, man, when I see these guys and they go and tell on their friends, and as soon as they get in, you know, I'm talking about as soon as they get in popped, don't care who go to prison. You know what I mean? But now with my situation, which I always ask this right here. I would have said, nah, I ain't telling on nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. And y'all know that my mom and my aunt and my sister and my wife, all of them go to prison. What do you think they would have said then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would have been the whole thing surrounding it then?
Yep.
Oh, he's a messed up guy. First thing they would say, oh, he a messed up guy. He lets people go to prison? Like
Yep.
Yeah.
What would be the narrative?
Right. Because I thought about that when I was reading the book, and I was like, there was, you had to go the route that you went, because if you didn't go that route, you would have been looked at as way worse than the other way. You know what I'm saying? If you look at them, you know what I'm saying? You had to go that route. You know what I'm saying?
If I had to pick,
yep.
I would have picked that same one, because I would rather them free and me being looked at as a so-called snitch or whatever it's gonna be. I can live with that one, knowing that they're out there. I can live with that. I got tough skin with that. I couldn't have lived with the differ. You know what I mean? Or them being in prison, they doing 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, and I'm sitting laid back, and I got life in prison, and they just man. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
Absolutely. So the book ends with you going to jail, and I guess when you on the bus ride, and you're going to like a Mexican prison, and you don't know if the word is out that do they know you cooperated, telling on a Mexican? How are you talking to yourself, getting your mind right to even go into that prison?
I was scared, and man, I was so scared, man. Because I grew up fighting.
Right.
Like I grew up. You read it. You know what I mean? I grew up like guns, shootings, fighting, like, and I was never scared. But now going in a situation, into an environment that I don't know nothing about, with that label on me, I mean, man, I was so petrified, man. Like, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? And I heard wild stories on these guys ain't gonna just want to fight. You know what I mean? They stabbing and man, doing some more stuff. Like,
absolutely.
I can believe it. I remember the first time when I seen somebody pull out a big knife and hit somebody with it. I lost my breath. Before he even stabbed the dude. When he pulled it out,
I bet.
I was like, yo, this is not for me. This is not for me. This is not for me, bro. I'm telling you.